right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving deep today, and we're tackling a really fun one.
Yeah, this will be good.
We get a lot of questions from you listeners out there about how to motivate students, and
Mm-mm.
today we're zeroing in on a request to help a teacher motivate their sixth graders in PE.
Sixth grade.
And this is a really cool challenge because we're not talking about, like, you know, training future Olympians. We're
Right.
talking about instilling a lifelong love of movement and a healthy lifestyle and,
It's such a critical age.
yeah, and setting the foundation.
Yeah.
And the source material that we dug into for this had some awesome ideas.
Yeah, some really outside the box stuff.
Like mini Olympics and space-themed games. It's going to be fun. So
How's it gonna go?
let's jump right in.
Yeah.
One of the biggest takeaways for me, and it seems so obvious, but the sources really emphasize fun and variety.
Yes. And it's more than just, keeping them entertained.
Right.
There's a real reason it works so well with sixth graders.
Well, what's the science behind it?
So sixth grade, their brains are still developing, right? They're not necessarily wired for long periods of focus.
Ah, so it's like,
Exactly. So throwing in a new activity, a new game, it's not just about keeping things interesting, it's actually helping them stay engaged.
you're working with their brain development, not against it.
Exactly. You got to keep those brains stimulated.
I love that. So speaking of keeping it fresh, the source mentioned this idea of like a mini Olympics.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
Can you imagine like your students going for the gold in, like a beanbag toss or something?
So, and it doesn't have to be super competitive.
Right.
It's about teamwork
Yeah.
and, just getting them moving and having fun.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads into another point that the source has highlighted, which is celebrating those small victories.
Yes. So,
Like not just focusing on the end goal, but those incremental steps along the way.
yeah, like instead of saying, okay, we're going to run a mile,
Yeah.
start with, hey, let's jog for 5 minutes and next week we'll try 6.
I love that. It's like building that confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Small wins lead to bigger ones.
And it makes it feel achievable.
Exactly. And then they feel good about themselves. They want to keep going.
And that ties into the whole, praise effort over outcome thing that the source has talked about.
Yeah, like growth mindset, It's
Right.
not about being the best, it's about getting better.
Right. And so how do you think teachers can really put that into practice?
So instead of just saying, good job, be specific, Like, hey, I saw you trying a new technique with your kicking. Keep working on that.
Oh, I love that. It's like,
You're noticing their effort. You're not
Right.
just focused on whether they scored a goal or not.
exactly. It's so much more encouraging.
Yeah, and it shows them that you're paying attention to their progress.
And that you value their effort.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so here's an idea that I thought was really cool. The sources talked about giving students choices in their activity.
Well, yeah, giving them a little bit of ownership.
So like instead of just saying, okay, today we're playing basketball, maybe it's like, hey, do you guys want to do basketball or soccer?
Or even let them come up with their own warm-up routine for the week.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, get them involved.
So it's tapping into that intrinsic motivation.
Exactly. When they feel like they have a say, they're going to be way more into it.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some of those fun, like outside the box ideas.
Yeah, get creative.
The sources mentioned music during warm-ups, themed games like space tag, even letting students lead activities sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, space tag. I can just imagine the kids going wild for that.
And you're hitting so many different learning styles there. You got the physical activity, but also the imagination.
So it's like sneaking in learning and exercise and fun all at the same time.
Exactly. You're a sneaky genius.
So to sum it all up, I think the big takeaway is, keeping it fun, celebrating those small wins, praising effort, giving students choices, and a little sprinkle of creativity.
It's a recipe for success.
It really is.
Yeah.
So for all of you listening out there, think about your students. Think about what makes them tick.
Yeah. What's that one activity that you could introduce that would just light them up based on all the things we've talked about?
Ooh, that's a good one to ponder. See how these little shifts can make a big difference in your students' motivation and their energy, and who knows, you might just spark a lifelong love of movement in the process.
Now, wouldn't that be amazing?
That's what it's all about. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.